All right. What's up, everybody? Aaron the Dog here with another interview. I'm here with Mike Beast Boy Davis, fresh off Fight of the Year candidate. We're in January, and I'm saying that comfortably. Fight of the Year candidate against Mason Jones. Mike, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm taking it all in. I'm kind of embracing everything that's been going on. This month has been crazy, and I'm finally glad to be back home.
Yeah, you're back in Florida. I saw you're already back at ATT, kind of in the heavy bag. What's up?
No. So my hand's a little messed up, but I don't want to stop training. I do want to recover as quick as possible, and I do hear that there is a nearby event in April, so I'm thinking stay ready for that.
April sounds like a nice time maybe to be down in Miami, maybe with fans again. You did get to fight with fans this past weekend. So,
We did. It was like
yeah,
2,000 fans there, but they were so loud. They were just, my God.
yeah. Like, I think sometimes when you get into those smaller arenas with less people, they have like a responsibility to represent the fandom more so. So they're not like sitting back.
Yeah,
They're all like, we're here. We're as glad as the athletes almost to be back here watching. I know if in April there's fans allowed, I'm going to be there no matter what price. So
crazy, amazing. Yeah,
I will pay any price. But yeah, 2020 was definitely difficult for a totally different reason, huh? Like
yeah.
no fights in 2020. Obviously, if anybody didn't tune into the press conference afterwards, you did get pretty emotional, genuinely emotional, which, pure heart here from me. So, I'm going to love that. And I think most of our audience, for the most part, can definitely recognize that. What was 2020 like exactly for you? The kind of what you went through, where it took you kind of mentally. I know that's a lot of different places to go with it, but like,
Yep.
what was 2020 for all of us was shitty as hell. And I'm not Dave, so I'm a little more explicit than Dave will be with, but it was shitty as hell, 2020. What was your 2020 like? What did it show you as a person, as a fighter? Just when you think of 2020, where does it take you mentally?
So 2020. Let's see. We started the year off with injury. Literally the 13th of January, I broke my ribs. I was out for all spring. March came. I was back in the gym. I felt good. I've been in the gym for like 4 days, and then all of a sudden the gym has to close because of COVID. So it's closed for a month now. They let the pro fighters come back in, so I get back in the gym, training for a week. I get offered a fight at 45, but because I haven't been training since January, I'm like 182. I can't make 45. I get an infection that starts eating away like my the liquid in my body. So my body's super dry, and the medical team says I can't cut weight. I can't cut any more water out of my system. Couldn't fight in May. June, I get really sick, probably COVID, never tested positive. July, I'm recovering. It took like a week and a half to recover from the sickness. July, I'm recovered. First day, it's beautiful, sun's out. I'm riding my bike. I go to cross the crosswalk. Bam, I got hit by a car going like 40 miles an hour. It flew me up in the air. I smacked the ground, fractured like my left side of my body, my shoulder, my knee, my leg, my elbow, my hand. So yeah, that sucked really bad. It was kind of like a hit and run because the guy stopped for a second, said, "Are you okay?" And I guess me, with the adrenaline that was going through my head at the moment, I just picked up my bike and I threw it. And he, seeing that I was moving around, I guess he figured I was fine and kept going. Um, it took me a while to recover from that. July to September, then my leg healed quick, so I was able to run. So starting in September, I started running a lot. Tore my groin, tore my meniscus. That took me all the way to October to heal. And October, I'm sparring, hurt my shoulder. I don't know what it was. I still don't know what it is. So I get MRIs done Thursday to figure out how bad my shoulder is. So I tried to get a fight in September. I got offered the guy who fought. I forget his name, but he's the one that does backflips all the time at 170. And I was supposed to fight him at 155. Not him, but his opponent at 155. Couldn't do that. December came. I'm at the lowest point of my life. I tell my management, give me anybody. And they gave me Mason Jones. But also back in October, my sponsorship for my living situation was ending, and I had to pay rent, so I couldn't afford rent. I literally made $0 all of 2020. I did not make a single penny in 2020, so I didn't have money to pay rent. So I had to find pretty much a couch or so to live on, and which I've been doing for all of January still. Now that I'm back, I got to find a place to live. I'm literally apartment hunting at the moment. That's why I'm in my car. So my 2020 was pretty shitty. And now we're back 2021. We're starting the year off. Best year of my life. Can't hear you if you're talking.
Yeah, my fault. I wanted to mute myself to make sure not that the dogs didn't interrupt during like the worst, most awkward point. Wow, yeah, that really blows me away. Like because none of that is mentioned as they're talking about your fight for one thing. So the UFC didn't seem to make that.
Take this fight with I do not feel 100% at all, and I took the fight knowing that. And it was worrisome. It had me pacing a lot in the hotel we were staying in Abu Dhabi. I was just pacing. I was like, what if I lose because my own body can't keep up? And it was just driving me wild.
And you have all this time of quarantine leading up to this, obviously, before you're leaving.
Possible. Yeah. I was just thinking about the fight, and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. It was just terrible. It was so bad.
Yeah, and you're facing a guy who, I mean, and I do a breakdown show with Fight Bananas. I break down all the fights, and a lot of fighters have been coming off pretty long layoffs, like Santiago Ponzinibbio, who was going against Li Jingliang, where Li Jingliang had been fighting top tier talent and regularly for such a regular amount of time leading up to it. And I think that ended up being a huge. And you're going against Mason Jones here, who was fighting championship level opponent, not in the UFC, but Cage Warriors. We all know how good Cage Warriors is. Yeah. Multiple weight champion was Conor McGregor, a little fighter that has done a little bit in the UFC also. So, I mean, and Cage Warriors has these guys. So, I mean, Mason Jones, as I think his stock rose so much from this fight, as did yours. I mean, this was an absolute battle. I said fight of the year, and I mean it. I think this will be a candidate for fight of the year through the year. I think a lot of times we get lost in these finishes, and finishes are great. I know you're going in there looking to finish every time, and this was no exception. But when you go 15 minutes with such a capable fighter like Mason Jones, who he was mixing it up, you were mixing it up. It was a mixed martial arts bout. There was beautiful leg kicks thrown by you, beautiful work to the body that a lot of people aren't going to pick up on. That was the difference, in my opinion, in this fight. That and just the pure impact of the strikes from the two of you. Look at his face. Look at your face afterwards. I know it's a little archaic way to judge it, but we got Pretty Boy we got Pretty Boy Davis today. We don't got Beast Boy. You don't look like you've even been in a fight besides the hand being wrapped up. I mean, and that's just incredible.
Just my hand. And that hitting him. So
yeah, and this isn't too bad for a guy who's said on multiple times you don't like fighting. Like you're not like you don't love fighting, and I think that actually serves extremely to your benefit because of how you kind of go in there and you just flow. It really looks like you're sparring with intensity. That's what I see.
I think that has to do with training at American Top Team as well, because we do have days where it's 100%, and I'm going 100% with like Dustin Poirier or Renato Moicano or Ponzinibbio. So these guys are all top 15 level fighters, and then I go with unranked Mason Jones. It's kind of just like a normal fight, like normal sparring to me. Yeah,
and Mason Jones, he will be ranked at some point, much after you, obviously. But still, I mean, this is a fight where you have everything to lose here. It's unranked Mason Jones coming in, and like it's like who is he to most people? You knew who he was, obviously, going in, and being at ATT, they're always going to prepare you with a great game plan. Obviously, I'm going to touch on the Dustin thing. You mentioned training with Dustin. Not only were you training with Dustin leading up to this fight, the most important fight of his life, the most important fight of your life, you're over in Abu Dhabi cutting weight together. You're getting to see how a champion prepares. A champion prepares in moments where he admitted he was flat going into this week at points. So you got to see a champion prepare, not in his most optimal mindset too, and how he prepared. What impact does that you do just by osmosis being next to what I believe he has been a champion in interim, but I believe he's now the uncrowned champ, and Dustin Poirier. What was that like for you?
Yes. It was incredible. Honest, it was incredible. I got to come fly across the world. We were both fighting literally. If I look at it, it's the same person, because Conor McGregor is the 2-time champ in Cage Warriors. Mason Jones, 2-time champ in Cage Warriors. They're the only two person. I think there's one more, but they're the two main people. They're both in the UFC. So I felt like we were both training for the same person, which made me want to train harder, do more. So there are times where Dustin and I were running, and Dustin will stop at 3 miles, but I'll stop at 10. Like, I literally just kept running. And I just felt in my heart that I know I'm training with the person who's about to win the biggest fight of his life, but I want to train more. I want to train better and just excel past that, because I will be at that position. I know I'm going to get to that position. I have it. After this week, or last week, it showed me everything about my life. I took a fight, and not only did I fight a kid who was credible. He was insane. He had a name to himself. He's accomplished so much. And I still went in there, and I still not dominated, but I won that fight in every aspect of MMA. Every single aspect you can think of, I won that fight. And that opened my eyes to say that I can do this. Like, as you know, I don't like fighting, but because I did so well and I just hit the switch, turned into Beast Boy during that fight, it made me understand that I can be the best. And then to know that I've been training with Dustin this whole time, even in Abu Dhabi, we were running, we were talking, we spent every day together. I saw how he trained, how he prepared, and then he won, and he TKO'd Conor McGregor, which no one has ever done. So that showed me that I'm at his level, and if not beyond his level, because when he would stop training, I kept going. So I'm ready to be out there, and now my goal is to get to where he is in life. And beyond where he is in life.
Yeah, and that's awesome to hear. ATT just continues to bring in incredible talent. Violent Bob Ross is there now. Peter Yan has made an appearance now there. I mean, it's incredible talent in there, and yourself is definitely included in that list. And I just think, again, you don't gotta. I think not liking the fight is really going to help as you move forward. It's easy for me to say from my perspective, but I think that we see sometimes when fighters get comfortable fighting, they get comfortable getting into wars, they get comfortable taking a lot of damage maybe they shouldn't be taking, and they get comfortable not switching up their game plan. You aren't comfortable in there. You're working in there. But you're flowing in there also, and it's just like, fights shouldn't be comfortable. Fights are fights. So I think that comfort is almost the enemy in a lot of ways. So if you can battle through that discomfort, you can battle through living in your car after a fight of the night bonus. Like, it's just like, it's crazy to me, but this is as much as you don't love fighting, you love what you do. It's just like, if that makes sense, you don't love fight. It's just
I've never been in life, but I love what I am blessed with to do in life. I love that my job is literally to just go in there and showcase the world all the hard work that I put in day to day.
Yeah, and it's just like
just 1:15.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Yeah, it's just I mean, yeah, it's just 15 minutes, but yeah, like that pushing with Dustin, the going training like it's 5 when it was just 3. There are points in that fight when Mason's pouring it on, when you're pouring it on, that the extra work, that's where it shows. When both fighters are at their best, giving it all, that there's doors to take out, there's ways to look out, there's ways to not, push through some points where it's like you win around, he wins around, then you come back in the third and put your stamps on I mean, those All right, and we just lost Mike, so we'll go ahead and put a pause on here real quick. Noted at 15, so all good.